Welcome to Midcard Maniacs. I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
And today we're doing our predictions for Payback 2020. We're going to kick this off with Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews for the United States Championship. For the last 3 pay-per-views, I'm all in on this Hurt Business. I wanted MVP prior. Let's just give it to Lashley. There's no way that Apollo Crews is going to beat Lashley.
I'm going with what I want versus logic, and I want the Hurt Business to succeed. It has to go to Bobby Lashley. Give him the title, give him a run. They need Lashley to feud with Lesnar. And at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. So give him that upper mid-card title. And I'm sorry, Crews. You're doing a good job and I like you, but I like the Hurt Business a lot more. And that's what I want to see run Raw. Bobby Lashley has to win. He's just gotta. Because I don't want to see it he loses now, Apollo goes to wrestle Ricochet for the next month or two, or Cedric Alexander, or anyone. No offense, guys, in that lower mid-card. You guys are stuck in a funk right now, and I feel bad because you're all good wrestlers. But I just don't want to see Lashley and Benjamin just go take the tag titles. I feel like they're slowly stepping the titles down a bit, because this is a stable that should have all the championships. I'm going Lashley.
Next up, we've got Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Everyone's favorite match on the card now.
I could have sworn for weeks they were building up to Baszler and Asuka versus Banks and Bayley.
I know, we even talked about it on our last predictions. That's no longer the case. Nia Jax and Baszler. I wanted Banks and Bayley to lose the titles, but not so much now. I genuinely just don't want Nia Jax to have a title. I don't like her. And I think a lot of people agree with me. And not because it's just a little bit of heel heat. I don't think she's a great wrestler. She injures people all the time. I don't think she's deserving. But at the same time, I understand if they give her the title to generate even more just natural heat because people will despise her. I think Baszler and Nia Jax are gonna win it, and that sucks.
I also feel that Baszler and Jax are going to take the tag titles. That way we can finally focus on Bayley and Sasha having their feud for just the one women's title instead of feuding over both of the women's titles. But I feel they're going to be the new tag champions, and what we're going to see over the next few months on Raw is the rip-off Team Hell No shenanigans. Because Baszler and Jax hate each other so much, I'm calling it, and here's a prediction for you, in 2 weeks, they're going to have a friendship therapy session so that they can learn to work together and have to hug it out in the ring to be proper champions.
That's a good prediction.
You're just in the middle of having the Iconics versus a reunited Riot Squad. They have a match. Whoever wins it, they're the number 1 contenders. Legitimate tag teams. You have them in WWE. Why don't you use them?
Because they're going to build up to a triple threat with Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and those two.
No, what they're going to do is they're going to build up to a Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus the entire women's roster in a 20-person tag thing. And they're going to squash them all until Tamina comes out. And then there's going to be awkward tension. It's going to be your WrestleMania moment.
Next up, we have likely match of the night, Keith Lee versus Randy Orton. That's going to be a banger. Finally, Keith Lee, the Limitless One himself, has made it to Raw. And unfortunately, wearing a skirt with different music. So I think they did this on purpose to piss people off. They ruined his debut so that they can say, oh shit, look what they've done to him. And if you look on Twitter, you have Keith Lee saying, don't worry guys, I got this. Just chill out, just relax. I think that this was all planned to just have people hate the way that they're treating him so that it makes Keith Lee kind of maybe stand up and say no, we're changing this. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to make him more badass. As much as I want that to happen at Payback, I think they're actually gonna drag that out a bit to build Keith Lee and his frustration for him being called up. I think they can work that into the storyline, and I think they actually predicted it already. So I would bet that he's going to wear his normal gear, he's gonna take off his shirt, and he's gonna have his music. I'm not sure that it's gonna be Payback. But in any case, Randy Orton versus Keith Lee is a massive feud for Keith Lee to just like elevate into. A lot of people are like, oh, what a shitty debut. It's like, he's in a feud with Randy Orton. That's a big deal. And I think that he's going to beat him. I know that a lot of people are probably going to disagree with that. I think that it will show his dominance and really cement him as like an upper mid-card, like main eventer. Right out the gate. Let's do it.
And you know what's funny? I think Keith Lee is also going to beat Randy Orton until 5 minutes before they enter the ring and Vince pulls an audible and is just like, well, this isn't the guy that I saw at the Royal Rumble. Who's this guy? Yeah, sorry. You want him to go over the Legend Killer? Randy's winning. I'm calling early burial already on Keith Lee.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It happens all the time. No matter who gets called up from NXT, they never seem to book them right. And yes, this is a great opportunity. It's going to be a great match, but I feel as though Randy Orton is going to win and then go back to feuding with Drew McIntyre.
I hope that isn't the case, John.
I want Keith Lee to win. I want to see Keith Lee be Keith Lee, bask in his glory, and actually have a good match. For the record, internet, I want Keith Lee to win, but I'm calling Orton.
And our last confirmed match on the card is The Fiend versus Braun Strowman versus the Big Dog. I tried to do a Ross impression, it didn't work. In a no-holds-barred match, which means anything goes. It's a three-way for the title. This is a returning Roman Reigns with a passion, potentially a heel side.
Last time they screwed up completely because they build up a good storyline and don't even use it in the match because they just want to show Roman Reigns coming back.
And like, Alexa Bliss, you're not here today. It's like, but you've been building me up for 3 weeks.
She's been built up longer than that. Remember the swamp fight? That's when she was first entered into this feud.
And then it's like, we got Roman now. We don't need you anymore, Alexa.
Yeah, Roman feels safe. He can come back.
I think Reigns is going to take it just because. Fiend is just kind of a middleman right now to pass off the title. They didn't want Braun to look weak, and if anyone was to take the title off of Braun, it just makes sense for it to be the Fiend. Now Roman can have it, and he can run with it for the next year and a half.
Roman's going to take the title, and he's going to continue his feud with Braun, because now Braun is going to be like the bad guy, even though Roman is coming off as like the stone cold of SmackDown.
He comes in and he wrecks him and he leaves.
I really would be okay with Roman taking the title off The Fiend because The Fiend doesn't need the title to be a good wrestler, to be put in good storylines. There's a lot of potential for The Fiend to just wrestle people because his character can tell a story. Roman coming back and taking the title, I think it would be way cooler to have him to go full Uso. When they went heel, they were just so badass that you wanted to cheer for them. I think if Roman takes the title off of them, feuds with Braun for a couple of months, people are going to like his more edgy attitude because they're all about the edge now.
I agree. He seems legit right now, and I like him right now.
Yeah, lose the vest, lose the Superman punch, give him the title, and you're gonna get a different demographic. I think Braun's gonna eat the pin because if Bray eats the pin, then we're just gonna see Roman and Bray for a bit, which I also can see happening because they'll do the storyline of like the Fiend changes people. So they may just go full Fiend versus Seth
But we
Rollins.
don't want that. We want to pump the brakes on that because we don't want him to fucking change this, edgier version of Roman Reigns back to a super nice guy. Fuck that. Don't do it for the kids, Roman. No.
Do it for us.
Do it for the 40-year-old men. And of course, there's not going to be only 4 matches on the card. But we can't think of all of the possibilities, and we don't have time for that because, we're filming this on a Thursday. We're not going to see SmackDown. So let's come up with a match each that we think are going to show up for Payback. I think it's inevitable that Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles go head-to-head for the Intercontinental Championship.
I'm throwing a kickoff show Dark Horse match, courtesy of SmackDown. Baron Corbin versus Matt Riddle in the King's Ransom match.
I'm not interested in that.
Nope, but that's what you're going to get. No, I'm saying you're getting on the kickoff show. My bad. That's what's going to be Apollo Crews and Bobby Lashley. The King's Ransom is going to close the show. Sorry, WWE. I almost did some good booking there.
Okay, also to throw this one in the hat, Shinsuke and Cesaro versus Lucha House Party.
You know what we're actually probably going to get because they're building up this like rivalry? We're going to get Lana and Natalya versus Mickie James and a mystery partner. Or just Natalya versus Mickie James. I'm calling either King's Ransom match or the burial of Mickie James. Payback.
What do you think of our predictions? Let us know in the comments. Like this video, and if you're a fan of AEW, All Out is coming up next week, and we will have a predictions video for you either Thursday or Friday.